Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in live today for Designs Drag, Drop, and Delight. I'm Sarah Stotes, and I'm a product marketing manager here at KWRI, and we're also joined by a special guest. You guys probably know Jay Cermak. Jay, do you want to say hey to everybody?
Hey everybody, excited to be here and dive into designs even deeper.
Awesome. Well, today we're going to do a little bit of a special spin on our normal designs live stream. If you guys have tuned in the past, we're going to hijack it and we're going to focus mainly on our live stream, or sorry, our new listing presentations. So we'll also go through the basics. So don't worry if you want to learn how to create just your actual normal everyday designs, but we're going to show you how you can use this new and exciting tool. And Jay has done a really good job of using the templates that we have offered, creating his own version. So we'll walk through that and you guys can learn from a pro. All right. So our purpose here is to kind of talk you through designs and how this helps your business. If you've been here before, you know that our purpose of creating this product was really we wanted to save you time, we wanted to make it easier and save you money, because not only are we creating templates on a regular basis, these are designed by our graphic design professionals, so you guys can go in, easily customize and modify, match your own branding, as well as are continually working on new developments and functionality to where you'll be able to upload your own PDFs and things like that down the line. So we'll walk you through the basics today and show you how you can plug this into the marketing and prospecting that you're already doing in your business. Okay, so as you've heard Gary say, we want to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced, simply because marketing is really money intensive. So you're going to see the results, but they'll be more long term. And in prospecting, these are time intensive and you're being proactive, but you're getting those immediate results. And so designs can actually help you in both areas. So you'll see here's kind of the breakdown of some of the activities that you're likely doing in your business. And just as an example, some of these pieces that you create that we'll walk through can be used across the board. They can be used in social media advertising. They can be used in your emails. So I want you to think really broad spectrum as you're looking at this list and thinking of how you can actually utilize these in the activities that you're already doing. Okay. So we're going to look through, I'm actually going to show you some examples of, well, we'll keep it here for now. So I know I mentioned we'll do some listing presentation focus, but just really quickly, these are a few great designs that were submitted in our designs group that we'll go over that we love to see you guys engaging in, sharing your templates. So these are some posts that were created using our neighborhood snaps widget that we'll walk through. So this right here will show you how to plug that in for your own area if you're not familiar. But these were created by Georgie Ishak. This is a great example of how he's customizing some of the templates. And then this next example is a flyer where he did the same thing and used another version. So we're excited to walk you through this and show how you can actually pull this data for your neighborhood and your listing. And then this is an example of a social post that he created, obviously featuring on his Orlando market area. So a few ways that we could probably improve on this would be if you guys upload some of your logos, you'll notice this white box. That's why we would encourage you to do some PNG logos here, and you won't have that. So we'll walk through how you can upload your logos, what that looks like in the system. But again, in our Slido group, we've posted the link to our command group, and we'll dive in there. And we want you guys to be sharing, talking to each other about the designs you're creating, and that's exactly where we've sourced some of these. So if you want to be featured on here, share some of your designs. I know Jay has done a great job of doing that too in the past, so we always appreciate the crowdsourcing. Perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to actually walk you through how to set up your marketing profile in the system. So we'll go to Command. Hang on just a second. It doesn't want to swipe for me. All right, let's see. Okay. So this is just your normal command home screen. And so this, you'll actually log in just to agent.kw.com. And then up here in this corner, you'll see, it'll say your name, and then the settings tab. You'll just click settings. And then right here under connect settings is this marketing profile tab. And so this is where you can customize and basically input any information that you would like to see in your, we'll show you in the left side if you're not familiar with designs, there's a place for all of this information to be stored to where you can plug it in easily. You can avoid typos if you're typing in this agent license number. Obviously that's easy to hit the wrong number, but we want to make it as easy as possible for you. So this is where all your information is stored. And then again, here's your DBA logo. And I'll show you right here, it does limit you to the 360 by 360, but I'll show you another way that you can upload that logo to where you're not limited to that format. But we highly recommend you take the time to fill it out. It should take just a few minutes, and then you'll be able to customize those templates even quicker. All right, so now I want to actually show you some design examples. And let's start with, Jay, do you want to walk through, I guess I'll show you where this lives in command first. Okay, so in command, sorry, our computer's being a little funky today, so bear with me, but we're gonna go back to designs right here, and I'm gonna show you guys how to actually get to our listing presentation, so then we can customize and click through, and we'll have Jay talk through his presentation. So this button right here that says designs, if you're not familiar with it, you'll click this. And then this is actually your template library. So this is where anything you've created will be housed, and you can actually filter by type. So if you were looking for a social graphic you've created, all of these live here. If you're creating a new graphic, you'll look for this plus sign in the bottom right corner and click that. And we're gonna hit print because listing presentation is a print product. And then we'll say create template. And then it's going to want us to log in. Oh, we don't need the KW. All right, so you'll just enter your command credentials here, your one login. That was a weird pop-up, but I think we're good. It's redirecting us right now to our listing presentation. Uh-oh. Let's try this again. It shouldn't do that normally, so we'll just try this one more time. All right, so I'm gonna try again really quickly to go to our listing presentation. Okay, this is what it should normally do for you guys. I'm sorry that it had a little snafu there, but this is your designs screen here. And all of these categories on the left are different options of the categories that we offer. And remember that we've selected print. So this is filtered by print already. And then so for example, if you're looking for a for sale piece, you'll click that category and you can select the different, trifolds, letter, postcards. So that's how you'll filter within the system. But we're gonna go over to our listing presentations tab right here, and you'll see we've actually created two versions. We lovingly call this one our modern version, and then this one is classic. So what's so exciting about having these in designs is that we've done a lot of benchmarking against what all of the top agents are doing, both within Keller Williams and what our competitors are doing. And we've consolidated all of that information into this document. And you'll notice that the format's probably different than how you've seen it laid out in the past, and that's intentional. So we're gonna start with the client and what they need, and then we're gonna walk through their property, their needs analysis, and then we're gonna end with you as an agent and wrap it up for why they can work with you. So you'll notice it's a little bit of a different layout. But I'm gonna click this Use tab on this modern, edgy presentation over here. And it will load us into the system. Right. And this is a big document, so it might take a little bit to think. But These two pieces, and Jay can probably speak well to this, it's intended to be completely customized. So everything we offer here is a suggestion that you can then decide, does my business offer this? Do I want to customize? So Jay, do you want to talk through how you made those decisions a little bit in your presentation?
Yes, so I think the biggest thing is knowing we've created a bunch of pages. You do not have to use all of them. You'll notice the first two are actually just kind of like getting started. They're not meant to be used inside your presentation. So what I really discovered, if you want to click in the lower left-hand corner, it's got page and it has a little arrow next to it.
Absolutely, right here.
Yep, if you that, this will show you the pages as it's still loading. And there's where you can actually remove things once it loads, and you can actually rearrange things and do the order. So I went through all the pages first just to see what is it, would I want this, what would I want to do to kind of get a feel of the guide. And then I kind of chose the pages that were important to me that I then edited.
That's perfect. Yeah. So again, the first pages, this is just instructions, a reminder for you to customize everything because we do have this pre-filled with content so you can see kind of what the final product should look like. So again, if we were to select this page, it's then adding it below and you'll be able to see what areas you can customize. So obviously you're going to customize this with your DBA logo. So if you're new to designs, we'll show you how you can actually swap some of this out. You'll select this item, and then we're going to go to images in this left corner over here. And y'all tell me if I'm going too fast. Okay, and so then, let's see. Okay, so we're going to go to...
We're going to go to logos to get your logo.
Yes, you're going to go to logos to get our logos. And then we're going to go to... We don't have an actual library here since I'm logged in as me and I'm not an actual agent, but I'm going to show you how you can actually swap that out. You'll add to your library if you're looking to add your logo. Here's a button right here. How I mentioned I would show you another way to add that logo that wasn't limited to the 360 by 360. This add to library button, you'll be able to upload any logos or icons specific to your business, and then they'll live within that kit on the left-hand corner. But for me, I'm just going to grab this KW DBA logo here, and I'm going to swap out to this all-white version. So I'm actually just going to click this button here. Well, let's see. Let's make sure. Okay, so we're going to click this. And then you see this replace button, these arrows. This is sometimes the easiest way to do it. You'll hit replace, and then that will swap down below, and you'll just place it exactly where you want it in that file. And so that would be customized for your DBA logo. And then the same here, we encourage you to customize with the photo of your property, obviously. So I'm going to show you if you have an active listing. Let's show you what that looks like within the system so you can actually pull photos that are loaded in through KWLS. So right here, we'll click this KWLS in the left area over here, your main navigation. And I'm going to say search for a listing. And then here's the different ways that you can search. You can search for your listing address, MLS number if you have that. And I'm going to search for this Barton Hills neighborhood over by our office since I don't have my own listings over here. And it will actually start pulling in some of these properties here. So it looks like we have, let's select this right here. And you'll hit select your listing. And it will pull up all of these hopefully beautifully professional photos that you've taken of the property. And you can actually swap out for whatever you want to feature on this. So I would recommend if it's a full property photo, and you'll click this arrow here, and you can feature what you'd like. And throughout the presentation, make sure you're swapping these images of the fronts of your houses, any interior shots you want to show. Okay. Does anyone have questions on photo swapping, logos, anything like that as we've moved through? Feel free to type it into our Slido box and we can always come back to it. All right. So I'm actually going to pull up some of these marketing pages down the line and we'll talk through, if you're not familiar with it, we've actually started leveraging our neighborhood snaps that we mentioned throughout this presentation. So this page is comparing everything that's happening in that Barton Hills neighborhood that we pulled from with the listing I just pulled up. So this is actually called a neighborhood snap, and it's located in that same KWLS spot here. And what you'll do is you'll actually replace this with your own local area data. So I have this selected, and then I'm going to click through KWLS, and we're going to click snapshots right next to listings. Okay, and then I'm going to type in Barton Hills, since that's the area that I'm looking for. And you'll see it's the second one here. And see, one thing I do want to point out is this module within the presentation has been updated since, because every few hours our system pulls new information on your neighborhood. So we recommend that if you have a listing, a presentation that you're giving to some clients, make sure that you're pulling the most recent data and the most recent snapshot so you have that accurate information. But then it's as simple as just clicking through and replacing that image there, and you'll see that it's saved within your piece. And then all of this information, again, this is for Barton Hills. We encourage you to customize with any information you want to focus on for your area. But I actually want to pull up, let's see if my computer will work a little better. I want to pull up this great presentation that Jay created, and I would love to hear if you guys saw Jay was featured on KWRI's Instagram stories yesterday, kind of talking through his process and how he created this document. Jay, do you want to talk through, I know you mentioned a little bit about how you customized, but you've done some really fun things with this in terms of colors and fonts and gone through and made sure that everything is accurate for your information. Do you want to share kind of how you went through that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I was doing was I was really inspired by this piece first off. So thank you to the marketing team. I think they did a fantastic job. And now we know you guys did the research to kind of piece this together and kind of come up with the best version. And the more I played with this, the more I felt like it was a nice magazine, something I might even have professionally printed because that's how good it looked. So I went through and was like, okay, what are my colors? What's the way I represent myself? And here in South Florida, heck, I'm even wearing the blue now, the ocean, different things. So I wanted to make sure I enhanced stuff with local things, and what represented me as a brand would be the colors. So you'll see here on this tab, I changed the tab in the upper left-hand corner to blue. I added photos of South Florida and a property that was for sale here and added things there. And as we go through the guide, I started changing the colors. So the next page, I changed it to the blue and had a picture of me, a picture of some properties I've sold, technology, and they kind of had this kind of like a, what do you expect to find in this? It's kind of like your outline. So I had fun kind of playing with that and just being inspired to really take this. So comparable properties, played with it there, went through the KWLS system and grabbed a bunch of different photos. Now that was a duplicate page. So I would have to delete that one before.
Well, and coming to Jay's defense, that's a brand new function that we've added. So just like Jay was saying, you can select the pages that you want. Some of these different layouts, there are layout options, and it's up to you to select which one works for your business. So when Jay created this, you cannot delete pages yet. So sorry, go ahead, Jay. Just had to pop that in there.
Absolutely, and that was one of the most requested features. So thank you guys for listening to us in labs and making sure you add that. So I had a lot of fun playing with that, even just yesterday. But I've been working on this for a little while, and I started with the first draft of it, a couple.
Oh, Jay, make sure you're holding down that top button. I think you went away for a second.
Thank you. Sorry.
Perfect. No, you're fine.
That I keep coming back to this document. So I started with a page or two, and then I kind of came back, and yesterday I started really going in and adding more family photos and kind of changing the way it looks a little bit and thinking deeper around the branding and what can I do, and find your buyer. This page, it's got a great chart and just customizing the look with it. So I really like the information, the way it's displayed, and then I had fun just kind of giving it a little bit more on my side. And if you're not custom like that, I think it looked great without me customizing anything. So even if you left the colors with the red and everything there, I still think it looked great. I just love the fact that you gave it to us with the ability to modify it.
Absolutely. Well, that again is the goal of designs, as we want you guys to be able to customize, but we also want these pieces to be, wrapped up with a bow if you're that type of person that just wants to enter your own information and run. So you do have options. And Jay did a really good job. We'll click back through and answer any questions people have. But you'll see media plans. These are actually meant to be updated with what you're telling your consumer, that your potential partner that you're going to use to market their property. And this is actually one of our next.
Exactly. If
Yeah.
you look close, I put my picture in there in the
Oh,
center one.
I
So I was
see
able to
that.
even replace that teeny weeny photo with myself, so it looked like it was a flyer I had created too.
That's awesome. Jay has great attention to detail. Yeah, so this is actually one of the next things we're going to be launching. We already have a just listed campaign within Designs, but we're actually going to be launching 2 that completely mirror the look of this presentation. So when you're giving this to a potential client that's hopefully going to list with you, you can just leverage that same material. So we're always working to provide you guys with the most requested features. So keep on sending us your feedback. All right. I'm going to call out a few things that Jay did really well, so just so he doesn't feel like he's bragging on himself. But this page this is really where you get in to start talking about yourself. And so you can see, you kind of treat this as your professional resume. So this is where he's plugged in his client served, his actual information. So you can plug that in, customize logos, but we want you to focus on the client and then end with yourself. So you'll see that these pages throughout here, he's customized beautifully, as he mentioned, the blue with the ocean and everything for his area. But all of these are really just to walk you through your credentials. This page I wanted to call out, you can either leave with KWRI's accomplishments if you want the backing of that company, or if you're an agent who has a lot of really big milestones that you want to chat through, this is your place to plug it in here. Okay, so we're going to go back into Designs over here. And it looks like we're getting a few questions about customizing a KWDBA logo name. So to customize that, those logos actually exist. Your market center should have those. So I would reach out to your marketing representative at your company. Jay, you want to answer that?
I can answer how to do this. So the DBA ones, I think everyone thinks the DBA part is editable, and DBA just stands doing business as. So your market center logos all exist on KDB Connect. Under the resources and marketing tab, there's a box for logos, and there's the ability to search by your market center number and get your exact one. So we're eventually going to bring those automatically into Designs, but we haven't gotten to that yet. So right now, the DBA logo is just a placeholder for you to replace it with your version of the logo. And when you go download those files, we recommend the PNG version, so it's got a clear background. And personally, I made sure I had the red and dark gray version, and I had an all white version, because you'll see a lot of these pieces here have a lot of color, and I can just pop in a white version of the logo or the solid one there. So there's videos out on how to download these on KDB Connect as well, but that's where you get those logos from.
That's perfect. Yes. So that's another place. If your marketing person's hard to get hold of, Jay is the expert in terms of how to customize. So thank you so much, Jay. Let's see. Can we share the customized templates that we made to other agents in Command? So the best way to do that is, we're going to talk through it a little bit at the end, but that group on Facebook, so there's a Facebook group that's pretty active, and then there's also a group within Connect. So we'll walk you through how to actually share those designs. So then you can actually, or in case you're talking about, this says in Command, but within your own market center, that's a little bit of a different question. We are working on a Teams functionality there as well. But for right now, if you're just looking to share the templates that you've created, we recommend sharing within your Facebook groups and within Connect. So we'll walk you through that. And again, that is the URL that's posted at the top of this chat that you should see.
And part of what we're building is also bringing a marketplace where we can then create something like this and then either sell it for a little amount or give it away for free and be able to share it there. So just remember, everything we're doing in the system eventually is going to have like an agent sourced store to share things with. So if I have a great presentation, you like my version, you don't have to necessarily recreate it. I can, share it with you in that way. So that's coming down the line as well.
Yes, Jay's very in the know of all of these exciting things that are coming, and we'll make sure to keep you guys updated, not only in terms of when we have new templates, but that new exciting functionality. So we're trying to think big, and you guys can customize the way that you're doing your business. Okay, so I want to actually walk you through a few more things within this designs portal here and make sure that you guys feel comfortable as you're walking through. I know we flipped through Jay's and you can kind of see what a finished product looks like if you decide to customize. There's a few things I do want to point out. Make sure that you're reading it carefully. Things like if you charge for staging or if that's not something that you do, make sure that you're pulling these items out and just reading the presentation carefully. But you can select each element on these pages and choose if you want to delete or replace any of this information. And then let's scroll through. This is where you're going to start talking about, this is how Jay had these different layouts on his page. You can select what works best for your business. So this is, again, another place where you would go pull in that photo that you have that lives within KWLS, and you'll replace that here. So we were using this right here. And so you can replace with any interior, exterior shots. We would likely recommend these being exterior shots here. So again, a new feature I'll point out since I clicked that the wrong way. This undo button up here is brand new. So that's something that you guys requested and then we listened. So hopefully you'll continue to send us that feedback. And we'll hit replace this image.
I use that button every day.
We all do, even myself as I'm leading a live stream. So this is a normal thing. So we'll go through it. You'll customize these options here and make sure that you're editing, you know, this bed and bath information, the pricing at the bottom. If you have information, it's sold for this % more over the listing price. We're really encouraging you to think big in a way that you're going to win over these clients, potential clients. Again, this is your current listings. And I do want to call out this testimonial page. I think we tend to forget how important testimonials are in this process. And I know I read them as a consumer when I'm looking to make a choice. And so leverage this space here and put in, you know, some of the great reviews that you've had or that your team or market center has received, and just make sure that you're leveraging that here. Okay. And then this last page is our contact information page. And this is where you're going to, again, update that information, how they can get in touch with you. And actually, when I was watching Jay's Instagram story yesterday, he had a really cool idea about splitting up this presentation into a pre-listing packet that he would email. Jay, do you want to talk through a little bit about what your idea was there?
Yeah, thanks. So I love this information, and some of it I thought would be great for kind of like a pre-listing packet, meaning I might want them to learn a little bit about me, some of my approach, and some things that I would give up front could be the basics about maybe about me, the company, like that stuff for them to read, saving us time. And then the things like my marketing plan, I'm definitely not going to give that to them because that's probably what they're going to use and try to give to another agent saying, here, Jay said he'd do this. That would be the stuff that I'd want to give and present to them in person. So I love the fact that I can use this both ways. And that way, if they've read through the guide before I show up, we can move faster. And if they hadn't, pieces, which is great.
That's perfect. I thought that was a great idea. And just so we can give you a little plug, we're starting to work on accompanying pieces. Something that we've never had before is a buyer presentation. So that is next on the line for us. And then we'll get into a pre-listing. So stay tuned for when those are coming, but I think that Jay's idea in terms of sending some information up front is positioning you in a way where you can win with your potential clients and consumers. So a few more questions. It says, it's not letting me save the pages as I go. So typically when you're entering your information, what you'll do here, I'm not sure if you're, so there's different ways. So if I'm editing, this is a bad example because you'll probably leave this page as is, but this real expertise, real experience, you'll see down here, these are the actual pages and these are the ones I've clicked through, but this pages tab here, these are what you've selected to pull into your presentation. And so if I'm editing this page, when you click through, say, I've been in business for 5 years, it should auto save down here for you. And we also have this save button in the upper left corner that you'll hit here. And it does autosave, but just to make sure, if you're an avid saver like me, that's a great place there. And then when you're done, you can download this or hit done to save it to your template. And if you have a more specific question, or if you feel that there's an issue, feel free to type in another question, or you can reach out to support@kw.com if you feel that there's like a system issue with your account too.
So what I noticed here was normally this would have loaded all 20 plus pages, and it didn't do that for us. So the left-hand side, just so you know, those templates are just the template adding it to, like you're adding a page. So the left side's not going to actually update. Everything at the bottom is. And now that you're here, by the way, Sarah, if you can click on any of these, you should have the 3 dots, little menu item. I see the X. Maybe because it's not part of the template. But if this had loaded with the template the right way, you would have a little arrow right there that would let you say, copy this file, delete this file, and
Right
drag
here.
and there it is.
Yeah,
There we
right
go.
here. So you'll just hover over this page. And I think what it is we actually, when we were solving the fix to delete pages, what it does is it actually doesn't pre-populate anymore. We're working to see if there's a way we can do that. But the best use case right now is for us to select the pages that we want. So then people are actually selecting them and clicking through. And if you do select, like Jay said, a page that you don't want, or if you want to copy that information, you'll just simply hover over it and hit this drop down arrow and then delete if you don't want that page. Do you want to delete design number 8? Yes. And so that's how you'll get this information. So Jay's 100% correct. It won't update in this area. It will update in your pages because this is your presentation. Okay, let's see. An agent in my market center was having an issue with images from KWLS staying in the document when she created the PDF to print. Was that a known issue? I actually have not heard of that issue before, so we appreciate you bringing us these issues, and I'm happy to run that by. Also, if there is a PDF that she has where he or she has experienced that issue, we would love for you to send that through to us because we're working to troubleshoot any of these errors. So if there's a way that that could be documented, please let us know. Send that to support@kw.com, and we'll work on if that's a specific issue that she's having. Jay, go ahead.
So what I did notice is make sure they hit the save first. I think when I was doing some marketing pieces, I hit download before I hit save, and it didn't download newest version. So that might have been what the issue was. Just always hit the save in the upper left-hand corner and then do download, and that should eliminate any of those errors because I tested this yesterday, and the guide I downloaded had everything perfect with the KWS.
Perfect. Yes, that's great advice too. Make sure we're saving when you're completely done before you download. Let's see. Looks like you're pulling from MLS, but our MLS puts watermarks the pictures and doesn't allow them to be used from the MLS. That's interesting. So if you were to search your property in here, I'm not sure, honestly, I'm not sure what that issue would be. If that's a common, I haven't heard that one before. Jay, have you heard about people having watermarks?
So mine does it as well. However, if it's your photo, it's your photo. So here's the cool thing. If you actually were to put a photo, click the photo, you can stretch it and kind of mini crop out the watermark. So obviously don't do anything that would violate the law or against the board. However, if it's my listing and I have the right to use those photos, then there's no issue with me using it. So if you just double click on the photo and it allows you to recenter it and stretch it out a little bit, you can crop it out. I've done that on a few of mine because one of my boards watermarks and the other board here does not. So I've had the same issue, but you can do that. And if not, you can always upload your own photos. So if you're worried about that from the MLS, just add the photo from your photographer anyways. It'll be better quality, by the way. So if that's an option, you can do that as well. And even hook it up to online storage, which Sarah can show us.
Yes, absolutely. I'll show you where you can actually upload those images here. So say you have these professional photos from a photographer and you don't want to pull straight from that KWLS button down here. You would actually just upload them here. So this is your image library here, and you'll hit add to library, and you can add the images that you want to feature in your presentation. So say you have beautiful photographers taken photos, So you'll click through, and if you have those saved on your computer, you'll just identify them here. And then they'll be easy to pull through throughout any presentation that you're working on and just swap those out for your different listings.
Well, that one's only going to be a couple. So let's,
Okay.
just to get clarity, here under images, click the word add in the upper left-hand corner there.
Perfect.
And you can both link it to actual online storage of Google Drive and Dropbox.
Oh,
And
yes.
at the top, got the add files there. So remember, add to library is just going to be 4 commonly used images. So it's like your things you always use. This will be a better place to add all those photos and get the new listing photos to put in.
That's true. This is it does link to any Google Drive. So if you have a shared Google Drive for photographer, like folder that a guy that you work with, then you would just link that here. Yeah, that's probably a better way to do that. Thank you, Jay. All right, let's see. On the page with comparable properties where you had sale price, days on market, do we provide the information or does it auto-populate? So right now you are providing this information. We're constantly working on how we can make that information more streamlined, but this is actually going to pull from your MLS. So that information, some of that is pulling in a neighborhood snap, but when you're looking at that, that is information that you would have to pull at this point. We're hoping that down the line that's something that these presentations could automatically pull information like that for you. But how often does it?
Remember, this is just the print guide version, right? Something you're going to print out in printable materials. We're still building the interactive listing presentation that will eventually come inside of our consumer app and the website. So this is just kind of getting us where we need now. And the future is that kind of stuff's going to be automatically hooked up to your MLS data in the future of the version that will talk to the consumer app when it comes out.
Absolutely. That's a great plug for our consumer app and all these exciting things that we're working on and the way that we'll be able to go a little bit more digital. But this is your traditional print listing presentation here. Let's see, how often does it auto save? That's a really good question. I am not sure how often it auto saves. Let's see.
I don't believe it does auto save, so I know it's doing the permissions and that's the previous version.
Yeah, this is previous versions.
Just like any document I ever edit, if I'm worried it's not going to save, I always just keep hitting the save button. So if I'm editing this page and I don't want to lose it before I move on, I always hit save just as a safety measure.
Yep. I'm the same way. And it could be that autosave is something that they're still working on. So please, yes, use the save button. And especially for a large file like this, we would hate to see you customize all these pages and then lose that work because it's a little more complex than just a social graphic. Let's see. Can you save individual listing presentations and then copy and update for the next listing? So within your template library, this is probably one of the most commonly requested features that we're working on. As of right now, the best way that I've seen done is actually within your template library and let's see, through agent.kw.com.
And while you're pulling that out, I think
Yeah.
what we're used to is having 60 copies of these things. So here's the neat thing. That one copy you could just use over and over again. So Sarah did kind of show it, that little arrow that shows backwards in the center with your name of the file is the previous version. So if we had left it and came back to this new version of a new listing and then came back again, you'd have all the versions you've ever used right in this same view. So what I've learned to discover and I love is that it's really one template and you can use any version again. So if I had another listing in a neighborhood that I did 2 weeks ago, I'd be able to use the previous version to go back to that previous listing. It already has the neighborhood data and I can just switch out the listing information. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel or recreate another template 60 times. It's one template and the previous versions lets me go back and forth and back and forth. So I think the old way is we went through 60 versions. The new way is let's just use this one, keep coming back and make the changes you need. And you can always go back and forth between the multiple versions there.
Absolutely. And you'll see your most recent here. So if this is something that you want to update, I actually would just click through it here in your template library, and then you can do a save as. When you click through, you can save the name in the upper corner when you're working on that. So if we're in this document, well, let's see. It's being a little strange today. it's basically this. So we'll just look at this version. So right up here, you can rename this design, and then you'll hit download, and you can hit done here. So that's basically if you had gone through that template. It keeps logging me out, so I'm not sure why it's doing that today, guys. I'm sorry about that. But let's take the next question. If KW Design Group adds a new page or details to the presentation, will it update the presentation I already customized? So right now it won't. So that is something to look for. We are actively working on new options, and I will say that if we do make any drastic changes to this presentation, we'll let you guys know. We won't just alter something. And so we're actually working on getting some good metrics behind this. So if you have a presentation that you've been updating and using, we'll have a list of who you are. I know that sounds a little big brother, but if there's something that's drastically different, or if there's an industry best practice, we'll reach out and let you know. So you know, like if we're having a new strategy or rolling something out, if there's a new change, we can let you know that way too. But right now it doesn't auto update because you've already downloaded your presentation here. And you would have to go through into your actual file and select new pages. So say we add a page at the end of the document. If this is a new page, you would just click through and add that to your presentation and update it that way. Okay, when you save it, where does it save to access again? So let's call this, let's see, listing presentation, and then we'll do the date. And I'm gonna hit our save button, and you'll see it's saved. So then if you're not ready to download it, what you'll do is you'll hit done in this upper right corner, and it will take you back to your library. So right here, let's see. I may have exited it too quickly. It should show up here. Untitled design. Let's try that again. Designs. As I mentioned, it's being a little bit weird today, but know that our systems are always being updated and worked on. So if there's anything funky going on, they're probably working on it right now. Because when you do that, this should save to your library. So we'll say, we're gonna add a few pages, just like before. So you'll click through some of the ones that you'd like, and you'll see them in your pages down here. And then I'm gonna call this, again, listing presentation. And I'm gonna save it. And then in this upper corner, when we hit done, it should show up in our template library. So fingers crossed that it's not doing anything funky. Okay, it looks like it's not right now, but this is where it should show up. So I'll connect with our support team right after this, because it should show, these should be all of your presentations that you've worked on. So again, I apologize that it's doing that right now, but I'm happy to dig into this right after the live stream and figure that out for you guys. So thanks for bearing with us there. Does anybody have any other questions for myself or for Jay, our special guest who's so knowledgeable? We really appreciate you, Jay. Anything else before we'll dive back in? I do want to show you guys one last time. Let's see, present. I do want to show you. So we went through the marketing profile. Again, the sharing your design. This group that we talked through will allow you to basically go in and customize any of these, share your designs that you've worked on. So we're gonna go, I'm gonna log in as me because I'm a member of this group and I want you guys to see. How you can get there. So you'll go to your groups here under Connect. And then this is the URLs posted in our Slido channel. Again, this is the Command Designs group. And this is where you can join the group, you can invite different people, and you'll see that people are sharing their posts and asking for feedback. Again, here's one of the ones we showed in the presentation today from Georgie. So we love getting these from you guys. So this is where you'll collaborate and work together on these. Ask us any questions. We're monitoring this. And if you're active on another channel as well, there's a KW Command Facebook group. Feel free to share those there too, because we're always sourcing this location, our Command Facebook groups. So these are really the places for you guys to engage and kind of brainstorm together. All right, a few more questions before we wrap it up. Someone says, love you guys, so excited for all these new options. Thank you, Meg. We're excited too to keep rolling them out for y'all. Someone says, is there a template for the Ignite pre-listing presentation? There is not specifically for the Ignite pre-listing presentation. The pre-listing presentation is on our docket coming up soon, and we'll make sure that we're modeling off of the Ignite best principles and work with our KWU training team there as well. And then it says it doesn't seem to be able to link our Dropbox account for images or pictures. Is there a specific action that I need to take?
Odds are they probably got a pop-up. So most of the things I find in Command, like the same thing happened when I did DocuSign to connect. So if you're trying to connect and it didn't give you a login screen for that Dropbox with the name and email address, it's probably your pop-up blocker. So check that. If it's Chrome, it usually shows up in the middle address bar on the far right-hand side. You'll see 2 squares. And that's the indicator that your pop-up blocker is stopping you from actually logging in. And then when it logs in, it should load the entire library from your Dropbox account.
Perfect. Thank you, Jay. I would try that first. And if you're still having issues, again, support is the best route to go. So support@kw.com or directly through Command. Let's see. Someone says, what is the group name you just shared? So it is called, this one, Command Designs. So check that out, and also the link is posted up in our chat for you guys here. All right, people are saying, great job, so many exciting updates. Can't wait to create my customized listing presentation. Thank you, Sarah and Jay, for such valuable information. Thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it, and I wanted to give a big thank you to Jay. He's such a valuable asset and resource. I'm sure you guys have seen his training videos on Connect. He's really an expert in so many different areas of Command. So we appreciate you, Jay, taking the time out of your day. Thank you all for joining. Jay, anything else you want to add?
I just want to say thank you guys for having us. For some of the best tips I found doing my listing presentation, I made a small 5-minute video. It's going to go live on Facebook at 2 o'clock, and you can find it today on KB Connect. And then obviously we'll have this recording coming soon as well to come back and share with your market center. And remember, the designs is a journey. Every time I go in, I learn something new. I'm trying something here. I feel don't be afraid to click something, right? That's the only way you're going to learn, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And there's a lot of fun things and kind of hidden gems if you really click on the different tools inside of the designs.
I think that's great advice, Jay. As always, thank you. And if you guys haven't taken these course evaluations before, we love to hear what you thought, what you think could be improved upon. So visit that you'll see the link here in the screen. You can also say, Kelly, take the course evaluation here. I know we had a few little funky computer issues. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm gonna go check in on a few things and we'll make sure everything is working for you guys. But I hope you have a great Friday. Thanks for tuning in.